Please grab a seat, take up your pens and pencils, and get ready to take some notes. Today we're going to break down UFC Vegas 77 in its entirety. We're going to cover the entire card, make a pick and a prediction for every single fight on this card. But first, find me on Twitter, 138MMA, Tapology, the same name. You can find my picking percentages there. In addition, if you'd like to get access to all of my notes, a Nito parlay every week, as well as my picks with confidence ratings, you can find that on patreon.com/138MMA. In fact, you'll get Patreon parlay, which hit last week at UFC 290. You're going to get the notes, all of them, what you see up on the boards, plus a little bit, depending on the fights, as well as those picks with confidence. I'm going to have those out every single week. We're also going to have the Bellator notes there as well. Now, another thing you can do is get a channel membership. We've got channel memberships now, and right now the perks of the channel memberships are just some sweet emojis, and you get cool little rankings to show your support to the channel. It says how long you've been here, stuff like that, so that way we know, how long have you been supporting this channel, show your loyalty, all that good stuff. If I've ever helped you with a bet, it's a great way to make me happy and a great way to show your support. They are only $2.99 for the standard channel membership. At some point we will add some more with some different perks, but for now, that's what we've got. Channel memberships, patreon.com/130MA, do it all. Whatever, let's get into the first fight because we're wasting too much time. See you there.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, 138 proudly brings to you the hottest race in the world.
145 pounds, we have Baghdasaryan taking on Tucker Lutz. Tucker Lutz is 3-2 in his last 5. Baghdasaryan 4-1 in his last 5. Both guys coming off of losses, so one guy's getting back on track here. Who's that going to be? Let's find out. We have Baghdasaryan, who's a high-level kickboxer. He's got nasty kicks and really good footwork. So he's going to be slamming these kicks at range, where Tucker Lutz is going to be out there trying to box with him. We're going to cover that in a minute. But at range, Baghdasaryan is going to have a huge advantage here. He's got those nasty kicks, like I said. He's got good counter-striking, works in combination, and he can mix his punches and kicks together. Once he gets into the clinch, though, he's got good trips. He can, kind of trip you down, use that to get his space and let you back up, make you go back to kicking range if you've gotten too close, get that clinch, get the trip, etc. On the other side, though, we got Tucker Lutz. We're going to start with his striking. He's got good combinations and some decent power, but he's primarily a boxer in MMA as far as his striking goes. He's not going to use a ton of kicks. Like, he can, he's a fighter, but he's going to typically use the hands, okay? At range, Baghdasaryan is going to have a big advantage. But in tight, it's going to be a little bit different because there's the threat of the wrestling. Tucker Lutz has a very powerful takedowns. Once he gets on top, he's got good top control. Kind of a lay and pray style sometimes, which isn't my favorite thing to watch, but, it's going to win him fights sometimes. He's a good grappler, but he's not so good off his back. So, for me, this matchup is a tough one because I want to pick Baghdasaryan because the style of fight at which he wins is very exciting. Lots of heavy kicks, lots of good combinations, looks crisp. But there's a big part of me that says, you know what? I think that powerful takedown that comes from Tucker Lutz is going to get Baghdasaryan down. Lutz is going to be able to be on top, land a little bit of ground and pound, control position, and wear on Baghdasaryan for all 3 rounds. Probably get a nice decision there. I'm going to take Tucker Lutz right now, but this pick might change. And if any of my picks do change, first off, it'll be on Tapology. But I'll also tweet it out as well as make a post in the community tab of this YouTube channel. So for me, Tucker Lutz is the pick right now. If it changes, I will be sure to let you know. I don't have a ton of confidence in it. But when I'm this split on a pick, sometimes it's just best to go with the underdog. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me know what you guys have, and I'll see you in the featherweight division. We have Costa taking on Lingo. Both guys 3-2 in their last 5. We're going to go ahead and start off with Costa here. He's a good striker, strikes in combination, and he works his punches and kicks together in those combinations, which is something that I really do like. Another thing I like is the front kicks and the knees up the middle. What that does is, well, it gives him that base for that front kick to keep his opponents at range and hit them from that distance. But also, as they're closing distance, he can switch that front kick to a knee, drive that knee up the middle, land it to the body, to the chin as they're changing levels, whatever he's got to do. I do like his middle game there. If he does end up on the mat, because, he's a Muay Thai style striker, and those Muay Thai style strikers often end up getting taken down. If that happens for him, no worries. He's good off the back as well. He's very active, starts looking for submissions and trying to open him up with those sharp elbows. On the other side, we have Lingo, who's a very fast starter, and he's got good boxing. He's not just like an all-around MMA striker. He's pretty much boxing, but they're good. It's good boxing. He's got pretty good power. He's got tight combinations. He can work those punches in 3, 4, 5 punch combinations and mix it up from the head and the body, which is good as well. He does have decent jiu-jitsu, but his guillotine is his best weapon as far as his jiu-jitsu goes. It basically just complements his boxing. He's not looking to get the fight to the mat typically, but that, like I said, that guillotine helps. The jiu-jitsu does complement his boxing, but the striking is where he wants this fight. I'd say Lingo's a very durable fighter here. He can take a shot, usually eat good 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them before he even starts to wobble him. So Lingo's pretty durable. This is a tough fight. In fact, I've been going back and forth on this one because I do like Lingo in a lot of ways here, because I do like in tight in the pocket. I think his combinations are going to be better. I think he's going to be able to land more power. But I think Costa has more path to victory here. Keeping the fight at range. He does have that Muay Thai style, so the Thai clinch is a viable option for him. And if it does end up on the mat, I think he's the better grappler. I'm going to lean Costa right now, but this is a close fight. There's a lot of close fights on this card. You're gonna give me a lot of heckling, saying, hey, why don't you just make a pick? Don't play both sides. You know what? This is a tough one, guys. This is a tough card. There's a couple of them I'm really confident in. This isn't one of them. Let me know what you guys think, though. I'm taking Costa. I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you in the next strawweight. We have Estela Nunes taking on Victoria Dudakova. Now, the records here, they will paint a picture different than this fight really is. For Dudakova, she's 6-0 in her career, so undefeated, 5-0 in the last 5, obviously. For Nunes, she's 6-4 on the career, 1-4 in the last 5. Now, if you look at just the record, Nunes looks like a tomato can, but that's not the case. Nunes is a fighter that is much better than that record suggests, and we're going to get into that here. Actually, you know what? Let's just start with Nunes. We're going to start on this side of the board this time, because I want to point this out before we get too far into it. Now, she is an excellent Muay Thai style striker. Estela Nunes has legitimate striking skill. It's very, very crisp, very good. Her combination, she can move forward and backwards and land combinations very, very skillfully. Her 3-2 is her best combination, and she works it very well, like I said, either moving forward or backward. She can use that hook as an aggressive forward step, or she can use it as a check hook coming backwards and then slam that straight right down the face of her opponent. It is her best combination by far. She's also got a very nice teep to the body, so she can keep wrestlers at range, hitting them with that teep. Does run the risk of getting that leg caught, but she can teep the body and get that wind sucked out of the opponent. Works out really well. Awesome calf kick, slams it hard. She's got good footwork on the outside, but the problem is her takedown defense is horrible. Horrible. And her cardio does tend to fade as fights go on, which is not good either. Usually, the reason that fades is because she's fighting wrestlers or anybody that wants to grapple with her. And when she has to start grappling, her cardio just drops. But the takedown defense isn't good. But her striking, it's very good. Now, because a lot of people just think she's a can, a lot of people are going to be jumping on the Dudakova side right away. Not so fast. Now, Dudakova, don't get me wrong, she's a good wrestler. She's got a good body lock. She's got good control. And in fact, if she can get your back, her back control is absolutely solid. The problem is sometimes in order to get the fight to the mat, if she's being outstruck, she will gladly give up top position just to get the fight to the mat and then rely on her grappling to get her back on top. I don't like that in any fight from a fighter unless you are just so gosh darn good on the ground and the other person is just bad. That's not usually going to be the case. This fight, yeah, you don't know, it might be. So that might not be a negative here. I just don't like it in her repertoire. But she's used it before to success. Obviously, she's 6-0 in her career, so there's that. This fight is going to come down to whether or not Dudakova is willing to eat some shots, some hard punches or kicks, hard shots, in order to get the wrestling going. If she is willing to do so, she'll probably lose the first round and win rounds 2 and 3. So I will take Dudakova as the pick. But there's a chance Nunes knocks out Dudakova in the first round, or more likely is able to sting Dudakova bad enough that Dudakova isn't willing to walk through those shots to get the takedown, and instead just kind of half-heartedly comes forward looking for the takedown the rest of the fight, and eats shots at range, gets a lot of body teeps, things like that. So that is a very possible outcome for this fight. For me, I'm not betting it because the favorite that I think is going to win is too big of a favorite for me to lay chalk on, because I don't think it's that cut and dry. But I am going to take Dudakova because I think if she is able to get the fight to the mat, she will be able to keep it there, and I think she can ride out the rest of that round, or maybe even get the submission, but probably just ride out the round and probably get the decision. So for me, I'm going to take Dudakova to win it by decision over Estela Nunes here. Like I said, that first round is going to be dangerous. If you are going to bet Dudakova, do it after the first round. That's my best guess. First round's probably not going to go well for Dudakova. I could be wrong. Maybe she comes out looking like a world beater. But that's just where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the lightweight division. We have Gennaro Valdez taking on Evan Elder. Now in this one here, Evan Elder's 3-2 in his last 5, just like General Valdez. Both guys 3-2. Both guys' only 2 losses in their career are in their last couple of fights. So for Valdez here, he's going to be a fast starter. I don't know why we're starting this side again. We're doing it. I don't care. He's going to be a fast starter with forward pressure. He's got good striking, the volume and the power. Just that's what he gets it done with. Forward pressure, starting quick, volume and power. That's what he does. He eats one to give one, does not care. Here's the problem, though. He typically throws 1, maybe 2 strikes at a time, and then, breaks that up. If he could string these combinations together, he'd have a little bit more luck. But one thing I do like is that he will turn into a blitz when he sees guys are hurt. When that, 2 shots that he throws, like the 1, the 2, whatever, whatever 2 strikes he throws happen to hurt his opponent, he'll then blitz in and go for that kill, which I do like. But I'd like to see him start using more combinations, stringing his punches together a little bit more. He did it some on the regional scene, but not since we got to the UFC. So for General Valdez, decent grappling as well. He was able to survive on the ground with Deaton and Levy in a matchup where he was in some bad spots at times, and Levy wasn't able to get a finish, nothing like that. So he does have good sub defense, and he's a very durable fighter. So he ate some kicks to the head in that one. He was dropped multiple times by Matt Frivola before Frivola was able to put him out. The dude can take a shot. He's very durable. He eventually did get knocked out by Frivola, but hey, that even broke Dober's chin, so what can I say? For Evan Elder, dude's got solid striking. He works best at range. His kicks to the body particularly are very, very skilled, and he's got good combinations as well. So the guy's probably the cleaner striker of the two. Actually, not probably. He's definitely the cleaner striker of the two. But Valdez has kind of got that unorthodox style, and it makes it tough for a lot of the cleaner strikers to be able to get over on him, because when they hit him and he doesn't drop, he can come back, strike with his own strikes, and kind of land his shots in there as well. I do think he's going to have trouble with a guy like Evan Elder hitting those body shots, though, because we've seen the body kicks that were coming from Natan Levy able to land, and those were starting to add up on Valdez pretty well. So the body work from Elder is a good path for him here. He does have decent wrestling as well. He can mix those takedowns in, and they're pretty good. He's got good top control, but his takedown defense isn't that great. So if Valdez decides to become the wrestler in this one, go for the grappling and exchanges and get on top, he could have some success there as well. But the cardio of Elder is going to keep going on through all the 3 rounds, no problem. I do think that he's going to be able to keep going longer. The first round is going to be messy, but I think Elder is going to have the advantage over the rest of the fight. So for me, it's Elder. He was winning his last fight against Sadykhov. That cut stopped the fight. He got TKO'd because of the cut. He was up 2 rounds on the judges' scorecards, and then that 3rd round, the cut obviously stopped it. So for me, I'm going to take Evan Elder. There's another one that I just can't bring myself to bet on. I think all the value is on Valdez, but I lean Elder. So I'm just going to pass. What I might end up doing is playing the point spread on Valdez if I can get it at plus money, because I think it's probably going to go to decision, honestly. I think Elder's going to win it by decision. And I think that Valdez is going to be able to win a round, probably the first one. So I might just play the point spread, because I do think Valdez has some real upside in that first round. He is a fast starter, like I said. But, point spread's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think. Are you going to leave this one off the books entirely? Are you going to play it? What are you looking at? Who do you have to win? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next fight. We have Carl Deaton III, taking on Alex Munoz. Munoz 3-2 in his last 5. Deaton is 2-3. Munoz will be a little bit longer and taller fighter. He's 5'9" with a 72-inch reach, as opposed to the 5'7", 67-inch reach of Deaton. Now, in this one, I know a lot of people are really high on Munoz here. I think this is a closer matchup than people are giving it credit for. So, let's start with Munoz. The guy's a solid wrestler with good takedowns, and he can chain those takedowns together. And when he gets on top, he does a lot of ground and pound from the guard or half guard position. He does a pretty good job from there. On the striking front, he's not that good. He's average, I guess. He's got a decent leg kick, I'll give him that. But his striking defense isn't very good, and his striking more or less consists of that kind of make you think the takedown's coming and just throwing an overhand. That's kind of what he's going to do. He kind of will blitz in with the 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 every now and then, but they're half-hearted at best. They're not really looking. He's not putting anything in those punches. It's just to get your hands up so he can come down for the takedown. So his striking is not very good. He's very hittable, but he does have very good wrestling. On the other hand, Carl Deaton, he's a little bit of like a jack of all trades, right? He does pretty well everywhere. Decent striker with good forward pressure. When he's pressuring forward, he's got decent volume, working different shots there. But he is open to counters typically. I don't think that's a problem here. I don't think he's going to worry about being countered by Alex Munoz. He's got decent grappling. Submission defense is there. He's got good scrambles. I know that Joe Selecki was able to get him, but Joe Solecki's a lot better than Alex Munoz, okay? So I don't think it's crazy to think that Carl Deaton's going to do better in this matchup than he did against Joe Solecki, okay? Joe Solecki would also just beat Alex Munoz. That's what it is. Not that Joe Solecki's the top guy in the division. I'm just saying I think he's better than both of these guys. Now, for Carl Deaton, yes, he can get taken down, but he's going to try to work back to his feet, and he does a pretty good job about maintaining composure and doing so very well. And something to note is Alex Munoz, when you look at if you watch his Contender Series fight, he struggled to hold down Nick Newell. And Nick Newell, if you don't know Nick Newell, look up a picture of Nick Newell and tell me why you think it might be weird that he had a hard time holding Nick Newell down. Carl Deaton should be able to get back up to his feet at times. So if Munoz is going to be able to get those takedowns, rinse and repeat, I think that there's a chance that Alex Munoz is going to be able to win the fight on a decision that way. But I think the more damage is going to come from the Carl Deaton side, and there's a chance that he's going to win the fight that way. I'm going to take a shot on Carl Deaton here. I'm going to take Carl Deaton. I don't think anybody else is. I think he's going to be able to land a little bit more damage, and I think we're going to get one of those judges' decisions, probably even a split, where one judge sees it for the control time of Munoz, the other judge sees it for, the other two judges see it as the damage for Carl Deaton, and I think that's what we're going to get. So, for me, Carl Deaton III is the pick. Again, another one that I might change later, but I'm not going to bet it probably, but I might throw him in a DraftKings lineup because he's probably a pretty big underdog right now. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the matchup here that I'm pretty excited about. We have Tyson Nam, the veteran of the UFC. He's taking on the newcomer, that 16-0 prospect of Azat Maksum. Maksum, obviously 5-0 in the last 5. He's taken on the 3-2 in the last 5 for Tyson Nam. Nam is on the older side for flyweight. He's 39 years old, whereas 28 years old for Maksum. Let's start on the Maksum side here because he's the unknown commodity for the UFC. He's got good striking, a lot of good movement, long, straight shots. That's kind of what he's going to throw. And he's got some heavy hands. When he hits, you're going to know about it. Hits pretty darn hard. His grappling is good. Mostly, he has good takedown entries. He times them well, things like that. Sets him up with strikes, good scrambles. He's got a very good, very high output style, which is good most of the time. It kind of makes things a little chaotic sometimes, and also can get him caught in the exchanges. He doesn't seem to hold guys down as well as you'd like to see from a guy with such good takedowns. You'd want to be able to see him get some control there, but he seems to let guys up. He is durable, however. I've seen him cracked in quite a few fights on the regional scene, and he's been able to handle that and get back to it. That is different, though, because he's fighting a guy in Tyson Nam who can crack like a firecracker. Let's go! Tyson Nam! I'm just getting a little excited there. Sorry. Tyson Nam has KO power. He's got good counter shots. I could see him waiting for Maksum to come in, hitting that big hook and dropping the cross and flattening Maksum if he wants to. So there is a real path to victory for Tyson Nam here. He's also got a good leg kick, slow down that movement. But the problem is he does get backed up and his volume can be low at times. He's waiting for that counter shot, looking for that one-shot KO. He does have very good takedown defense, though, and that's going to be tough for a guy like Maksum to handle. So for me, this matchup is tough. I do like the under 2.5, or if fight doesn't go to decision. I like that in this matchup because either Maksum's able to get this fight to the mat, get the submission, or he's able to land a big heavy shot, knock out Tyson Nam, or Tyson Nam catches Maksum with one of those counter shots and gets the win there. I am going to pick Maksum in the matchup, but I'm not really confident in it when you look at his odds at like minus 400 or better. And Tyson Nam has that one-shot KO power at flyweight, which is incredible, and a really tough takedown defense. So for me, I like the under better than I like picking a side, but I will take Maksum for the sake of a pick. If Tyson Nam knocks him out, I won't be too surprised. I'll probably play the under of some sort, whether that's under 2.5 or just fight doesn't go to decision. Somewhere in there, I'll probably play something like that. Let me know what you guys have, and I will see you. We've got a match of the women's bantamweight division. Eileen Perez taking on Ashley Evans-Smith, who's been out for a little while now. She's 1-4 in her last 5. A bit of a shoddy record, but she's competed against some of the higher level competition in this division as well as the flyweight division. Eileen Perez, 3-2 in her last 5. She's the younger fighter here, obviously. 28 years old as opposed to the 36 for Ashley Evans-Smith. But Ashley Evans-Smith is the taller, longer fighter at 5'8" with a 67.5-inch reach as opposed to the 5'5", 66.5-inch reach. Now, I know that Ashley Evans-Smith is the taller and longer fighter, but I actually like her better at flyweight. I think she's very small-framed, tall, long, lanky fighter, so I think she's better at flyweight, but she is going to have that reach advantage here, and that's going to play a little bit of a role. We'll cover that in a minute because we're going to start on the Eileen Perez side. For Perez, she's a decent striker. not the most technical, but she's going to come forward with volume. She's aggressive, and I do really like that she'll throw the knees up the middle as she's striking and just kind of mix them in there. I do like that quite a bit. Now, her grappling is decent. She's going to look to advance position. She's going to use her pressure on top. She's not afraid to posture up when she's on the ground. Not afraid to posture up and just land the ground and pound. And her body lock takedowns are pretty good. She'll get the fight to the mat that way. All in all, I think Ashley Evans-Smith is the more polished fighter. She's got the good volume. She's a good striker in general. She's got clean combinations. Her kicks up the middle are actually really, really solid. She uses the elbow as her opponent comes in. She'll collapse him with the elbow. She's got good striking. She's got a good high guard. She doesn't have any head movement, but she's got a good high guard. She's a more polished striker. She's also got good wrestling. She's got NAIA division championships in her wrestling from college. Good cage push as well. Gets opponents up against the cage. Good takedown entries, but she doesn't set them up with her strikes whatsoever. She just kind of shoots open takedowns. Here's Ashley Evans-Smith's biggest problem, and it's been her problem her whole career. She's very good, well, not very, she's good in the striking and she's good in the wrestling, but she can't mix them together. She's either doing one or the other, and that's the problem she's had her whole career. Now, maybe in this time off, she's worked on that, and she's going to be able to get the wind using it that way, but if she can't mix them together, she's going to struggle against a girl like Eileen Perez, who's going to come forward and just throw bombs, get in close, work for that body lock, get on top, and start landing ground and pound. I'm having a really hard time here. I've gone back and forth, and I want to pick Ashley Evans-Smith. Now, this is similar to the Dan Hooker-Jalen Turner matchup where I wanted to pick Dan Hooker, but I picked Jalen Turner, and I said, you know what? Why don't I compromise myself? I'll pick Jalen Turner because I think he's going to be able to crack Hooker, and Hooker wasn't looking that good as of recent, except for the Puelles fight. Well, Hooker came out there and won. Well, here was my bet that I placed on that was the point spread on Hooker. So even though I got the pick wrong, the bet cashed. And the bet could have cashed if Jalen Turner won a decision, because that's how the point spreads work. I think I'm going to play the point spread here on Ashley Evans-Smith. Officially, I'll pick Eileen Perez for now. That might switch. Ashley Evans-Smith is the more clean, polished striker. She's the better, pure wrestler. But, like I said, I like her better at flyweight. I don't so much care for the layoff. She doesn't mix her wrestling and her striking together very well. So as of right now, I'm going to take Eileen Perez, but I'm probably going to be looking at the point spread for Ashley Evans-Smith, as I think that's a chance, because she could win one round on the judges' scorecards. I don't think that's crazy to think. Maybe even the third round. Maybe she gets beat up the first two rounds, comes out, win the third round, gets the 29-28, bet cashes, she still loses, I get the pick right and the bet right. Or if she comes out and upsets Eileen Perez as a favorite, because Eileen Perez is obviously favorite, she comes out and upsets it, well, guess what? Then that's okay too, because then I still cash the bet. So let me know what you guys think. You think the point spread's a good spot here? That's kind of where I'm at, but I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love your opinions. I will see you. We have another short notice Jack Della Maddalena fight. So here, Jack Della Maddalena is 5-0 in his last 5. He's taking on the short notice replacement, or short notice, I guess, matchup, Basil Hafez. Hafez is 4-1 in his last 5 and actually has a bit of a reach advantage. Both guys are 5'11", but Hafez has a 77-inch reach as opposed to the 73 for Jack Della Maddalena. Now, for JDM, we've already covered him before. We're going to cover him again really quick because we just covered it last week. Excellent MMA-style boxing. He's going to use his counters. He's going to cut off the cage. He's going to be able to strike well from either stance, as well as work crisp combinations, go into different levels, high levels, low levels, whatever you want to do. He's going to mix it up. Basically, he's going to be a darn good striker, and he's going to walk guys down, and he's going to beat them up. Counter wrestling, also good counter wrestling. He can stuff takedowns, and after stuffing the takedown, he's going to make guys pay for shooting that takedown in the first place. But he's fighting a guy in Basil Hafez, who is a pretty good fighter in his own right. This guy's not a bum. A lot of times you think, short notice guy, stepping in, whatever. He's probably going to be a tomato can. This guy's pretty good. Now, for Hafez, he's got good striking, and he's got pretty good power. Not one-shot knockout power, but he's got knockdown power. When he hits you, you might stumble, wobble, he might drop you down. But it's not just turn your lights out one hit, okay? One punch, knock you out. Now, it's not quite like that. He does only have one knockout on his record, I do believe. But that one knockout, it was late in the fight, and after he's already wobbled the guy many, many times. It was a one-punch knockout, I suppose. But the guy had already been dropped multiple times. So that's what I mean. Anyway, he's got a good 1-2, good overhand, good check hook. But he only throws like 1 or 2 strikes at a time. So he's not stringing together long combinations, and a lot of times when he throws his 1-2, if you would just follow it with another punch or two, he would be able to land on guys that were able to get out of the way, lean back, or do whatever they got to do. So if you throw a couple more strikes together on the end of his combinations and make it a full combination, not just 1-2, he would probably have a little bit more success with that. I think it's just coming, as he develops as a fighter. Yes, he's 8-3-1, so he's had a few fights under his belt, but that's the next step up. Once he gets that figured out, he's going to be a little better, and I think he's going to be able to get that level of development in the UFC, which he'll probably get another fight after this one. So anyway, good leg kick as well. I like it. He really gets the hip turned over. That's what you want to see if you want to really crank that in there. Get that shin bone, whatever the heck that's called, right into the calf of your opponent, and he does that well. He's a good grappler, good scrambles, likes to take the back. Sometimes he gets a little bit too excited when he jumps on the back and tries to go for the submission before getting his hooks in. Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So he seems to be more submission over position, but not in the sense that he's not looking to advance position and maintain control. He just sometimes gets a little excited on the submission and will do that. So in this matchup here, you have to go with JDM. JDM's the pick, obviously. You have to go with him. He's the more proven commodity. He's fought the better level of competition. He's been beating guys in the UFC that he shouldn't be able to make look easy, but he is. He's been beating guys pretty easily. So for me, JDM has to be the pick, but I think Basil Hafez is actually a pretty good fighter, and I think his next fight in the UFC is going to be one that I'm going to be interested in looking at, depending on where that matchup falls. So let me know what you guys think. Have you watched the tape on Hafez? If so, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If not, hey, that's cool. Just like the video. That's always nice. All right, I'll see you guys in the next fight. We have Terrence McKinney taking on Nazim Sadykhov. Sadykhov is 5-0 in the last 5 fights, 3-2 for McKinney. For McKinney here, he's got a 73.5-inch reach, which is impressive because both guys are the same height. And Sadykhov here has a 69-inch reach, so big difference there. Sadykhov's reach is actually smaller than his height, so that is interesting to note. Let's break down Sadykhov here because he is 5-0 in the last 5, but that last matchup with Evan Elder, his last fight, I actually had a bet on him. So I was relieved when that fight got stopped due to the cut because Sadykhov was down. All 3 judges had Sadykhov down by 2 rounds going into that third. And Sadykhov lucked out, got that TKO due to the doctor stoppage. So good on him there. Keeps that 5-0 going. Good striking for him. He's got good combinations. He's very dangerous in the pocket with his fast hands. On the outside, he's got good movement. But occasionally, you're going to see him do some ill-timed spins. Can kind of get him in trouble a little bit, but obviously not too bad considering he's 8-1 in his career. So hasn't got him in a ton of trouble, but it can sometimes get him in a bad spot. Now, his grappling, decent grappling. He's got a ground and pound heavy style. He's going to look for the ground and pound before anything else, but he's also got good scrambles. His takedown defense isn't the best, though, so that is something we're going to have to worry about. For McKinney, he's a fast starter. Dude's going to come out of the gate with a head of steam, and he's going to try and get this done in the first minute because that's what he does. He does have good power in his hands, and he'll strike in combination, but the problem is when he's striking in combination, that chin is wide open to be hit. Leaves it right up there, no big deal because, you know what, he's either knocking you out or you're knocking him out kind of thing. He does have a very quick head kick, and I do like that a lot. It doesn't always look the prettiest, but it's fast, and it gets there, and when it hits you in the head, it doesn't matter how pretty it looks as long as it gets the job done. For the wrestling, he doesn't use it quite enough, but he does have good wrestling, good takedowns, things like that. When he gets on top of you, he can start looking to advance position, looking to take the back, go for the rear naked choke, something like that. But yeah, good wrestling. He just doesn't use it enough, and I think if he mixes in the takedowns here, he's going to have a pretty good path to victory. For me, I'm going to go with Terrence McKinney as the underdog. I haven't bet him, but I could be swayed to do so if the odds are a little bit better. So I might, but I haven't yet. I'm taking Terrence McKinney. If I change my pick, I'll let you know, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I like Terrence McKinney here. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you here. We have Otman Azaitar taking on Francisco Prado. Prado was 4-1 in the last 5. Same thing for Azaitar. Both guys only 1 loss in their career. Interesting matchup here. I love the under. I'm going to point that out. Under 2.5 if you can get it. Under 1.5 is a little sketchier, but under 2.5, I love it. Fight doesn't go to decision. I love it. Both guys are going to come out quick. This one here for Prado, he's the taller, longer guy, 5'11", 76-inch reach, as opposed to 5'8", 71-inch reach for Azaitar. But Azaitar's got long arms for a 5'8 guy, so there's that. This is an interesting matchup. We got Prado. He's going to come forward with his power, striking. He's got a good head kick, and against a shorter guy, that's always a good move. His striking defense is the tall guy defense. You know, he kind of leans back or whatever. He does have a good tie clinch when it comes in, and those knees up the middle from the tie clinch are sneaky, especially being so tall. That knee doesn't have far to travel. He's got decent wrestling as well. He can mix that in. For Azaitar, he's a very fast starter. He's going to come out of the gate with 100% head of steam. He's going to come forward with his pressure, his power, his volume, and he's got a good leg kick in his own right. So head kicks over here, leg kicks over here, and the takedown defense for Azaitar is pretty good. We saw him chin-checked against Frivola, but it was his only loss, and yes, it was after a long layoff, after the whole potato gate thing. This is the under, okay? Bet the under 2.5, bet the fight doesn't go. I like that. As far as a pick, I'm going to make a pick because that's what I do, but I don't feel good about it. Give me Mr. Potato Head. I'm going to take Ottman Azaitar to bounce back here and knock out Prado. I think he catches him with a big shot, but I won't be surprised if the reverse is true and Prado catches Azaitar. I'm going to take Azaitar. I think he's going to look a little bit better in this matchup, so that's where I'm at. Let me know what you guys have, and I'll see you in the next matchup here. We have another one still. So before the division's gone, we've got this matchup between Chelsea Chandler and Norma Dumont. Norma Dumont 4-1 in the last 5, 5-0 for Chelsea Chandler. This is an interesting matchup that I am very confident in. Chelsea Chandler, she is a physically strong individual with forward pressure. Decent striking. She's got some power. Kind of just bullies her way through. Good bullying style. She's got decent grappling. The ground and pound's pretty heavy. She does hit pretty hard. For Norma Dumont, she's actually a very good fighter. She's got good striking. Defensively sound. She's got decent power. Counter strikes. Most of her combinations are going to come off of a counter. Otherwise, she's going to throw single shots until she can get you to come in. If she lands a single shot, yeah, cool. But otherwise, she'll get you to come in. She'll counter you and throw that combination. Her volume is inconsistent, though, because a lot of it depends on her opponent. I think she's going to have pretty good volume here because Chelsea Chandler is going to be coming in using that forward pressure, giving Dumont the ability to strike back with the counter strikes. Now, she's got good wrestling, good takedown defense, good cage push, and solid top pressure. She's also very physically strong, so I don't think Chandler's going to be able to muscle her way through. I think Norma Dumont is going to win this fight very easily. I got her as an underdog a couple weeks ago, and that blew my mind. I was like, Norma Dumont, an underdog to Chelsea Chandler? That's insane. Norma Dumont's probably winning this fight. It's probably going to look very similar to the Danielle Wolf fight where Norma Dumont just beat the brakes off her. That's what I see happening here. I got Norma Dumont all day. Let me know what you guys have. I'll see you in the next matchup between Josh Parisian and Walt Harris. Both guys 2-3 in their last 5 fights. This is an interesting heavyweight matchup. Walt Harris has been off for a while. Hasn't looked the best in his career as of late or in his last few fights, but he has some good wins on the record as well. Lots of losses, but he's fought a lot higher level competition than a guy like Josh Parisian. For Parisian, let's start on his side. He's got decent striking, pretty good volume, and he has a tricky spinning back fist that he can catch you with. I wish he would have used it in his last fight where I told him, hey, your opponent, when he throws his jab, is going to also drop his backhand, and that spinning back fist is there all day. But he didn't do it. He didn't listen to me. He left me on red. So, sorry about it. Josh Parisian made the mistake there. That's okay. I won't fault him. He already had to deal with the consequences. His wrestling. He wears on his opponents with his wrestling kind of up against the cage. Just kind of wears on him a little bit, grinds on him, slows him down. And in fact, that could be his best path here against a guy like Walt Harris. To slow a guy like Walt Harris down, that's the best way for him to go. But his takedown defense isn't very good, so if Walt Harris decides to do the takedown instead, he might be in trouble. However, I think this is probably going to be a striking matchup most of the time. Now for Harris, he's got decent striking, but it's the power and the movement. He's kind of light on the toes for a heavyweight, and when he comes in, he just lands big, powerful shots because he's a very athletic kind of guy. Problem is, he's not super durable at this point in his career, and also he struggles off his back, so if he does get taken down, he's not too good on the ground. This one's a tough one because as far as playing the fight, I think Walt Harris probably wins by knockout. But I wanted to play it, but the odds on the knockout prop are almost the same as his money line. It's not even worth playing. So I didn't play it. And I thought about, okay, well, what about first round knockout? And it's it was like plus 120 or something like that. It wasn't very good, okay? It wasn't very good. And do I know for sure he's going to knock out Parisian in the first round? Not a chance, because he could second round, third round, could go to decision. I don't know. It's a tough one. Heavyweights often go further in the fight than you think they're going to. So I'm going to take Walt Harris. He probably scores a knockout at some point. But man, coming off that long layoff, Walt Harris just hasn't looked that good in his last few fights. It's a tough one to pick. Anybody that feels really, really confident in Walt Harris needs to go back and watch those fights again, needs to take into account the amount of time he spent off. I'm going to take Walt Harris, but I don't feel that good about it. Let me know what you guys think. If Josh Parisian catches him with a spinning back fist and it's over, There you go. Maybe you finally listened to me. Maybe checked out my message. Either way, Wall Harris probably wins. Let me know what you guys have. I'll see you. Matchup here. Jun Young Park taking on Albert Duraev. Duraev is 4-1 in his last 5, as is Jun Young Park. This is the co-main event of the evening, so if you haven't done so already, I don't think I've reminded you enough. Hey, like this video for me. I appreciate it very much. It goes a long way, helps the channel, helps us grow so we can get you better content, better sound quality, better picture quality, upgrade the studio, all that good stuff. So like the video so it spreads to more people. Those ad revenue things just keep on coming in, and I get like $20 this month. So, hey, do me a favor. Like the video. I appreciate it very much. Now, let's go ahead and break this fight down, shall we? Jun Young Park. He's a good striker with good, solid jab. He works a lot of boxing style, MMA striking, so a lot of boxing more so than just striking in general. But the jab is where it's at. He's going to work that jab. Sometimes he'll get stuck into a brawl, and sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. He does work all right in a brawl, but he takes unnecessary damage because his striking defense isn't the best. In the grappling, he's got a good cage push. He can get on top, and control guys on the mat. But his takedown defense is also pretty good, and I think a guy like Duraev is going to have to work for those takedowns. Now, Duraev, he's got good grappling, works the body lock for his takedowns. He doesn't shoot a lot of deep single or double leg takedowns. He's going to get a lot of in-close, body lock, drag you to the mat style of takedowns, and that's going to be tough on a guy like Jun Young Park. But once he does get it to the mat, he's got very good top pressure, heavy ground and pound. If he is able to get on top, Duraev is going to have a big advantage over a guy like Jun Young Park. In the striking, he's powerful, don't get me wrong, and he's got a really nice lead hook that he can throw either to the body or up to the head. But other than that lead hook, his striking, he overextends on it. He's a little bit wild. It's not very polished, but he's powerful, and that lead hook is actually really good. I have to go with Jun Young Park here because I think he's just better in enough areas that I think he's going to be able to win. Now, I also thought Duraev lost to Chidi Njokuani, I thought, on damage. Now, Njokuani did not throw hardly any volume in that fight. He should have thrown more volume because he was winning in the striking exchanges, but he didn't. I still thought he won on damage. But judges gave it to Duraev. Jun Young Park is going to have better volume. I should have wrote volume up there as one of his positives. I did not. Whoops. Jun Young Park is going to have better volume, and he's going to be able to work that volume and land those jabs specifically on a guy like Duraev. Well, Duraev is trying to look for that takedown because on the feet, I think Jun Young Park's going to have a big advantage. I think he's going to be able to land better shots. Maybe not the more powerful shots, but the more volume and clean shots. If it gets to the mat, I think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be one-way traffic. I don't think Duraev is going to be able to get the takedown every time. I think we might even see Jun Young Park work for a takedown of his own or get the cage push going, kind of work it that way. I think Jun Young Park wins this fight by decision, but I could also see if Duraev gets on top, he could put him away with the ground and pound. But Jun Young Park is my pick. I think he wins it about, wow. For confidence, go to patreon.com/130AMA, and I'll tell you the confidence over there. But Jun Young Park is my pick. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the main event time. Here we are. Hit that like button for me. This is your last reminder. Actually, as I've learned, on YouTube, you're supposed to say smash that like button. So smash that like button for me. I appreciate it very much. Let's break down the main event. Bueno Silva taking on Holly Holm. For Bueno Silva, she's 3-1-1 in her last 5, 3-2 for Holly Holm. Holm's going to be 10 years older at 41 years of age. She's a former champion. She's been at the top for a long time. We have the up-and-comer in Bueno Silva, who is 31 years of age. She's going to be a bit smaller, though. She's 5'6" with a 66.5-inch reach, and Holly Holm is 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. This is a interesting matchup. It's a good one here because I know a lot of people are down on this main event. I'm actually looking forward to this. We got to find out if Bueno Silva is going to be making her push towards the top, or if Holly Holm is going to turn back another contender and maybe get another shot at the title. And I don't know if you guys know, but Holly Holm's had some good moments in her career, some very impressive ones. In fact, cashing as one of the biggest underdogs in history. Now, lately, she's been winning a lot of decisions, but she's in a matchup here, 5 rounds against someone who has the forward pressure and the aggressiveness of Bueno Silva. I think that's a good thing. I think that's going to make for a fun fight. So for Bueno Silva, solid striking. She's going to come forward with that pressure, throw combinations, but her kicks are what's going to get it done. She has a nasty body kick, and the leg kicks are good as well. She's going to look to land those leg kicks, those body kicks, just over and over again, and throw the combinations up top with the hands. If it gets to the mat, she has good jiu-jitsu. She's very active off of her back, but she does struggle to get the fight to the mat, so she often has to rely on her opponents to get the takedowns on her. She did land a takedown in her last fight, but takedowns have kind of evaded her most of her UFC run. So her cardio has been known to fade, and that's not good against someone like Holly Holm in a 5-round fight. That could be a problem for Bueno Silva. For Holly Holm, she's one of the best women in the entire bantamweight division. She's very high-level kickboxing. She's incredibly technically sound, defensively sound. She's going to work combinations, and with her combinations, she's going to mix in different levels, where she's going to the body, the head, the legs, doesn't matter. She's going to mix that all into one combination, and she's got great movement on the feet. Now, she's got a good solid cage push, so she's able to get her opponents up the cage, use that physicality, and when her opponent comes off the cage, she can lock them in that tie clinch as well and still stay in tight and start landing those skip knees right up the middle. Very deadly there. When it comes to the wrestling, she has solid counter wrestling. Now, yes, she can mix in her own takedowns, but I don't think she's going to need to here. She's probably going to want to keep it up against the cage if she's going for that. Don't give the option for Bueno Silva to start using that grappling. Yes, she could do it, probably be fine, but using that counter wrestling, takedown defense she has, and her ability to really make opponents pay when they fail a takedown. What happens is she stuffs the takedown and immediately starts throwing shots at her opponents as she's circling off and creating space. And then that's what she likes to do. Stuff the takedown, throw those shots, and then sets up that head kick right there behind it. Holly Holm is excellent at that. Now, we haven't seen a ton of it lately because nobody's been able to do any of that to her. She's been controlling them up against the cage, working her stuff, doing what she needs to do. She did lose that controversial split decision to Ketlin Vieira, but either way, Holly Holm has been doing pretty darn good lately, and I think that she's going to continue that here. I think she beats Bueno Silva probably 4 out of 5 rounds. The first round could be a Bueno Silva round, coming out strong, aggressive, and just kind of winning on that aggression. But after that, I think Holly Holm's going to take over. I like Holly Holm to win this fight. My most confident pick of the card, I'll give you that much. I think Holly Holm wins this more often than not by a landslide. So let me know what you guys think. I'm big on Holly Holm here. I know there's a couple people thinking Bueno Silva's got it, but I don't think Holly Holm's washed up at all. 41 years old, does not matter. She's still killing it. Let me know what you guys think. I love it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Actually, take that back. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to be on the MMA Engine this week on Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. I don't know. Check out the MMA Engine. I'll be on their prop show. Props to consider. Anyway, check it out there. I'll see you guys next week.